The 2-day mega tamasha, which starts tonight and continues into the morrow, won't be about who is selected. Because we know whoever is selected will be selected for a huge amount. They will be contracted for an amount after which they probably never have to work again. But doesn't this happen every year or every alternate year when this mega tamasha happens? There's nothing special about it. Of course, everyone is excited because of the excitement around it. I don't know what's so exciting about it because whoever is selected. Not a big deal. But we will rather judge those harshly who are not selected, who don't get selected by any team, even as backups. So that will be the most interesting part of this entire discussion. It won't be about who is selected because that is obvious. We all know who are the big names. What defines big names is subjective and is open to interpretation, but they've already judged harshly that these particular players may not be selected because they've reached a certain age, they have not performed in the previous tournaments, and their team managers and coaches have now run out of patience. So they may not be selected because each team has a limited amount of money in the bank. So how will they look for it? Of course, this is about making sure that these teams have permanent group for a long time. Well, these things don't matter because this tournament is all about having fun, all about earning an extra pocket money or summer internship if you can. So it will be interesting. As I said, it won't be about who is selected. It will be about who is not selected. Maybe a career-ending move. Or those who are not selected will say, no problem, we are not selected, we will move towards commentary. That's the thing you can do. And whoever gets selected, it doesn't matter which team picks them because there is no loyalty. It's all about profits for both sides. It's a simple, the team management sends a simple message. I have selected you because you have done well in the past at the international level in other domestic competitions. I have given you an opportunity to continue doing that in this particular competition, and I am going on your past performances and the fact that you are young, you have time. As I said, young and old is subjective, but in sports because 32, 33, and those most profession, 32, 33 is the beginning of one's career. In sport, it's like you are done. You have white hair, you have slow reflexes, you don't have that power game or the thinking. So as I said, it doesn't matter who gets selected for which team, simply because there are no loyalties. It's all about earning the moolah. That's how it will be. And with this is episode number 481 on the 11th of February 2022. While the discussion around the Mega Tamasha will go on for weeks because it's still a month before the Mega Tamasha tournament starts, whatever happens to the ability to affect the players are human beings, they will be affected. And a few individuals had a few hype and fluke moments certainly get along because that's how we are. Player hits 2 sixes and wow, we should be there. Everyone starts putting their opinion. Why do they start putting their opinion? Because they all have a nose, but that nose is, So we'll discuss on that Mega Tamasha later, but it won't affect me who plays for which team because it's all about profits, it's all about being contracted and having fun. We'll turn on to something even more interesting. The Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which is going to happen very soon. And a list of interesting matches scheduled for this particular competition. course, the first one is for the WWE World Championship, and this is an elimination in the match where the incumbent champion Lashley will defend against former champion and two individuals who are looking to win their first major title. It means Lesnar, Rollins, and Styles are former champions versus Fury and Riddle, who are the upcoming stars. So they have been there for the past 2 to 3 years. They're not exactly new in this particular domain, but it's an elimination chamber match, which means there will be inside pods. Two people will start, and after every 5 minutes, the pod will open. Who will come when? How will it take? How are the numbers? Doesn't matter. But in any match, but in any professional wrestling match, when you have such a situation where players come up every 5 minutes, or in the Royal Rumble match, when they come up every 90 seconds. The last one is the precious one. That's the theory. The last player is precious. So by the time the last player comes, either everybody is eliminated and one or two individuals remain, or everyone is there and they are tired after going through all the acrobatic performances, jumping from the pods, crashing through the pods, using tables, ladders, there, whatever is available. So that will be a very interesting thing. Of course, the point is that Lashley will retain his title, and then we'll see who challenges him. If Lashley wins, then we don't know who will challenge him, because this is the last pay-per-view event before the actual big event, that is WrestleMania. That will be a very interesting situation as to how this pans out. Will Lashley retain? Well, the management usually looks to retain its incumbent champions, though at this time I won't be surprised if there's a change. How will it go? I don't know. But in these situations, when you're especially defending the title, it's more difficult than actually competing for the number one spot. So if Lashley goes on to win this particular event, interesting thing will be who will then challenge him as the tournament progresses. That will be the interesting discussion. But we'll come on that later, very soon. As I said, by the time the last individual comes, who will it be? No one knows how the numbers are stacked. Whoever is the last among these will have a greater chance, because they will be fresh. By the time they come, their opponents would be bruised, battered, fallen through chair shots, crashing the boards, and doing all kinds of acrobatic. And by the time the last individual comes, all they have to do is take advantage of the tired bodies. All of them could be there by the time the last individual comes, or two could be there, three could be there. A couple of them would be eliminated. So how are the numbers stacked? That's difficult to say, but the last individual in such event usually has an advantage. That's something which would be very, very interesting. Will Lashley retain, or will there be a new champion? That remains to be seen. Remember, Lesnar has already won the Royal Rumble, yet he's there in this match. His plan, as I said, it's a plan which may or may not happen. His plan is to win this match, win the World Championship, challenge Roman Reigns, or we'll see Roman Reigns opening for a title versus title match. Will that happen? One doesn't know what the management thinks. I think all six are equally, whoever wins can go to the surprising. Fury and Riddle have small chance, but it's not surprising if one out of Lesnar, Lashley, Rollins side wins to win a championship match. So it will be a very, very interesting situation. But a match that has garnered attention is the WWE Universal Championship, a match that was originally scheduled 2 years ago at the WrestleMania pay-per-view event. It didn't happen because of reasons which we won't go into. And Roman Reigns' opponents have an interesting way of surprising him. Whether it was John Cena, who came in just before the Money in the Bank ladder match to surprise them, which made everyone go crazy, or whether it was Finn Balor who surprised them, beat them both, or whether it was Lesnar who came from nowhere. So Roman Reigns' opponents have an interesting way of announcing themselves. And remember, the interesting thing is that all of them are 40 plus, and he's the oldest at 55. So in this business, it doesn't make much of a difference. Goldberg, Roman Reigns, which move will have a higher thing? Will it be Goldberg's here versus Roman Reigns here? The speculation and the discussion is that both of them are legends of their own generation. So I don't believe in this generation to generation legend silos. I think Roman Reigns has done enough to put himself in that pedestal. Goldberg has been doing it for a long time, for over 30 years, in different promotions. And Goldberg challenging Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship after challenging McIntyre and Lashley earlier, but not being able to go through with the winning thing. It will be very interesting as to how this match happened. Because Goldberg doesn't compete every day. He's not a regular thing. As I said, the likes of John Cena, Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, Goldberg, they're not your regular contracted, regular drafted individual. They have a special contract with the company. And this is how the contract is done. Roman Reigns doesn't compete much, but competes enough so that he is match ready, match fit, as the term goes. Of course, this match will get all the attention compared to the other one, which had a couple of decent wrestlers, but because this is one-on-one, this is the individuals involved in this, especially Goldberg, who has challenged another opponent. It wasn't surprising when he returned. As I said, Roman Reigns' opponents have an interesting way of surprising him. Seth Rollins using the Shield thing, that is the mind game of the Shield, or when John Cena came, entire arena went crazy. When Balor came from nowhere, the entire arena went crazy. When someone like Lesnar challenged him, the entire arena went crazy, and all the individuals involved in the fund started putting their money where the mouth is. Well, I think it's a 50-50 call. Of course, someone competes once in a while versus someone who competes regularly in the ring, that can make a difference in ring buzz, and all these discussions will come into play. And of course, how do you win? You win by using the guillotine, and not an if your opponent puts his hand on the rope. But the person putting the submission hold doesn't let it go, loses the match but retains the championship. I think this rule needs to go. It has to change. If the submission hold is, if 5 count by the referee, the person into the submission hold or doing something on the top rope doesn't let it go, you have to lose your championship. Disqualification should lead for loss of championship. But then if that happens every time, that will not make it fun. But Roman Reigns has a template that he will do something to make the referee disqualify him, but he will retain the championship. That's what is important. Don't be surprised if there are a few referee knockouts, or if once a referee is knocked out, you will see his cohorts, cousins come into play and try to knock the opponent out, because that's not ethical, but there is nothing ethical critical in this particular business. As long as you're not injured terribly, as long as something untoward doesn't happen, such interferences, referee knockouts, taking the advantage of that situation is how Roman Reigns has defined the last 2 years. Now he will continue to define, which is not surprising because he's been on the receiving end of such situation and it works beautifully. I think it's absolutely fine for such things to happen, but disqualification must lead to a title change or a situation where you have a no disqualification, no count out match. Then you have a situation where you are bloody, battered, blood coming from your face, using all kinds of devices which can make your skin crawl, but that won't happen. Let's see how Goldberg manages Roman Reigns' template of disqualifications, referee knockout, and outside interferences. Something will happen because it has been happening, and that's what the expectation is. Moving on to the Women's Championship, not surprising at all. Just like Goldberg, former semi-retired wrestler, came back to challenge Becky Lynch. Lita, who was supposed to be called the individual who revolutionized women's game as far as professional wrestling is concerned, because 15 years ago till 2010-11 there weren't too many women wrestlers. That's why these individuals became popular, and now because there are so many women wrestlers, it's difficult to say who is the best. But because Lita was at a time when there weren't too many women wrestlers, and best was 4, and they were not competing regularly. They hadn't got that kind of traction compared to today where they compete regularly. They compete in all kinds of matches from Elimination Chamber to Hell in a Cell to main eventing the big tournaments. That's why when you are a part of a group in which there are not too many women, you will become popular. But if you're part of a group where you have 20, 30 individuals, then it gets divided. 1% or 2.5%, 3% for all. So not surprising at someone like Rita who is challenging her, former champion, the current champion, generational gap of more than 10 years. So I don't think these things ever make a difference. But that's the way such matches are scheduled, and it's not surprising as to how things will happen. Once again, like the previous men's matches, the expectation is that the incumbent champion, the defending champion, will retain their championship. That will be very interesting. Or will the new challenger do something out of the blue? Or is it just for the sake of coming? One doesn't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But 3 championship matches, expectation is that the current champion will retain, and then whoever challenges him or her at the WrestleMania level remains to be seen. So I think all the 3 championship matches, depending on who are involved, all of them in their respective matches have got a chance. Who wins remains to be seen. There could be new. It never happens that in a pay-per-view you have an entire gamut of new champions. Somebody will retain. At least 2 out of 3 will retain in a championship match. There could be a surprise, but the surprise will not be that new. So what happens in this match and in the previous matches? Now this gets very interesting. Whoever wins the Lita Becky match will have to contend with the winner of this match in an elimination chamber situation. Remember, as I said, winner earns an opportunity at the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. SmackDown story is different. It's one brand. Out of this, which two of them all of them have competed. 3 out of these 5 members have already won the championship. One, they already have the name on the board and they have won. 2 of them have competed hard, but they have fallen short as the story goes. So all of them, who has a chance, one doesn't know, because one can see that someone like Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Nikki Ash have already done that job. Doudrop, everyone knows who they are. They have got their opportunities at various pay-per-views and they have performed up to that level. So it will be a very interesting situation as to how this whole thing pans out. Whoever wins between Rita and Becky will have to face the winner of this particular match. Who has a chance? So you have 5 opponents. All of them have an equal chance because it's a 20% chance for everyone. It won't be, as I said, it doesn't surprise as to who will win. Whoever wins deserves that particular opportunity to compete for that championship. So, as I said, all the winners are equally capable. All the opponents in this particular match are capable of winning their respective match. And whoever wins will challenge Rita or Becky at WrestleMania for an opportunity. So it's everyone has a chance. That's the most important thing. These were the title matches. Let's move on to some non-title matches. In fact, there's one more title match. Of course, only one Tag Team Championship will be defended here. The SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And of course, it's the Usos versus the Viking Raiders, and that's the most interesting part. The defending champions versus a group who has already won before. And will the Usos, like their cousin Roman Reigns, retain another championship? Somehow they are able to do it. As I said, here there is no interference. But once again, it's a 50-50 situation and who gets a chance in this particular match. As I said, all the championship matches, the 4 title matches, that is the 2 men's title, 1 women's title, and 1 tag team title. Not in all the matches will there be an opportunity to switch titles. Some may be retained, some may be changed hands, but it won't be a straight whitewash of all championship matches changing hands. That's the most important thing. Remember that not everywhere will there be an opportunity of changing titles. The titles changing hands. It depends on what the WWE management wants, because this is the final pay-per-view for WrestleMania. So whatever happens here will have an implication for that particular tournament. Moving on, another one is of course a non-title match. How are non-title matches scheduled? They have a very interesting story. There's a whole storyline, there's a whole gimmick which happens one as the match progresses. Now, Drew McIntyre has had his issues with Matt Moss and Baron Corbin. They've had their rivalry, their friendship, the up and down relationships, how these guys to injure him. He made his way into the Royal Rumble event. They've had their mind games. There's a whole month and a half story which has taken place before this match has even come into picture. So, but expect someone like Drew McIntyre to have an upper hand in this match unless there's counter interferences, and someone like Matt Moss wins. I have no idea. But in these situations, Drew McIntyre is most likely the winner of this particular event. But let's talk about something different. In India West Indies game 2, India defended a total of 240 versus the West Indies. Of course, 240 is never enough at any point in time. And India went on to win them more than 40 runs in this particular match. And of course, the whole Rishabh Pant opening, Rahul at 4, who will come at number 4, who will be the middle order, who will get to play, who will not get to play, who should bat at what position. I think that's an irrelevant discussion. It really doesn't matter who should bat at what position, because that never ever makes any difference. But since we are into specifics, let's get into specifics in brief. How the match panned out. India went on to win them more than 40 runs, and of course 237 was always not a good score. It's never is in the era. They're expected to score 350 every time. But who was the captain? We are being specific, Rohit Sharma. What a captain! What bowling changes! What aggressive captaincy without jumping like a small child with too much energy. A dig on a former captain who was quiet and usual. Brilliant bowling changes, making sure that the fielder attacking slip, gullies, whatever the fielding thing should be, every time he turns to a bowler, that bowler got him a wicket. Even be compared to a certain former captain who is no longer in the picture. What smart captaincy, what a job done by him. I think it's irrelevant. Captain, yes, maybe it matters, but I always knew that West Indies were never going to face 240, not because they are a weak team. No team is weak or no team is strong. But India had the decent bowling attack to defend. 10 years ago, I wouldn't have expected them to defend. Even I think pre-2000, I would have never expected them to defend 237. But post-2000, not in every match, but every 5-6 games, I would have expected them to defend between 230 and 240 because of the bowling attacks we had. Pre-2000, no. If we have won defending under 250 in the 2000 era, that's true. But post-2000, we had a good bowling attack. And of course, West Indies team, they prefer the 20-over format. They prefer hitting every ball for a 6 format. They're not the kind of guys who settle down and have partnerships. And then everyone was excited about this. Odean Smith was picked up 2 sixes, and after that, what happened? Nothing. I think that was just one of those things which happened. It was a fluke moment for him. I don't think that counts at any point in time. But what about Game 3, which takes place later this afternoon, and by the time individuals hear it late in the night, the game might be over? Should there be changes? Should a few individuals get a chance? That's the dilemma. Because who should play, who should not play, it's difficult to come to a conclusion. I would do that. I would have Ravi Vishnu instead of Chahal just to see what can this guy do. I would have him in the team. Then Chahal, you did well in the 2 matches, but let's give a 20-year-old a chance. It's fine. One game missing out is not the end of the world. You have won the tournament 2-0. There's nothing wrong with giving a few players a chance. I would even have to run that ball. And then I would punt by making punt the captain. Rohit Sharma saying, I take an off, new, fresh captain means no Rahul, no Rohit, have likes of backward, and then say Shikhar Dhawan in this particular match. Give bowlers like Avesh Khan and Ravi Vishnovi a chance to prove themselves. For me, it doesn't matter whether it's 4 overs or 10 overs. Or red ball, white ball, doesn't matter. Have a ball in your hand. If you have the skill, you will pick up a wicket. The pitch is irrelevant. whether it's a flat cricket or it's something else. Of course, everyone will once again say, what is happening to Kohli? Why is he not winning tournaments? Where is that form going? Are we getting to a point where we are impatient? I think whether Kohli is not making 100 is not happening. I think the luckiest player to play for India for all this while, despite his contribution being only 20%, was Tendulkar, who played for 24 years. He should have retired way before that. But to stretch his career, we allowed him to stretch his career. We are still obsessed about him. I think he was the luckiest player to ever play because he stretched his career for 24 years. That doesn't happen. The only time it's happened is Undertaker stretching his career to almost 30 years. But that's it. We'll talk on that later. But Kohli not making ones, who are the ones who are asking for it, those who never made ones in their entire life. So I don't think I'm going to be affected by this. But what happens in game 3? It could be 2-1, it could be 3-0. Of course, after we lost South Africa 3-0, everyone said that's the end. No chance of winning any tournament. And then Rohit Sharma gets this captaincy hat. Wow, what captaincy, what brilliant captaincy, what field placing, this, that, blah, 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 continue. And that really helps me. So that's the way things are in the 21st century. And let it be at 20%. We'll move on to something different. Something which nobody took great attention to in the Pro Hockey Championship tournament. Something very interesting happened. India beat France 5-0, as everyone knows. In fact, it wasn't France. India beat South Africa 10-2 and France 5-0. And the hockey team, believe it or not, most of them will say, what? I'll say, the hockey team is ranked number 3. The Indian hockey team is ranked number 3. It's a big deal because unlike cricket, there are more teams, there are over 20 teams competing in this particular tournament, or in this tournament overall. And of course, the bronze medal win eliminated number 3. This tournament is important because the more wins they gather, the more confidence they gain for the World Cup. Because this is almost like a World Cup. You play different teams. You play almost all the teams possible in this particular tournament. Remember it, India beat Africa 10-2 and India beat France 5-0. Two decent teams. Ranking matters in the Indian context because the way we treat hockey. Still, this did not make it to the first stage. Had there been any other sport, we were excited about Senegal winning the African Cup, but we did not have any reaction when India beat South Africa 10-2. The way the players are, Akashdeep Singh played his 200th match and there was no mention. If this was an Indian player making his 200th appearance, it would be all over the news. 200th match, 300th match, 100th match, 50th match. For a hockey player to play 200 matches is a big deal because the energy exerted in a 60-minute hockey match compared to a 7.5 hours cricket match, well, you cannot compare the energy exerted. I think it's a huge deal, huge accomplishment to play 200 hockey matches compared to 200 cricket matches because half the time you're standing like zombies, not moving at all. In hockey, you are just constantly from one end of the board to the other, from bend to bend. Of course, there are substitutes, but it's a big deal. A 10-2 is a huge deal, specifically because we look at Belgium, Germany, Argentina, and to some extent Australia as top hockey teams. I think it's time to recognize India also. Maybe not winning a gold can be a downer, but we have to move beyond this category. Let's get that clear. Okay? So this ends episode number 481 on the 11th of February 2022. Stay tuned for the next episode as I will be back on the 14th of February 2022 with episode number 482. So what should you do while you wait for the next episode? Put these books in your must-read books column. It's high time. Put these legendary books in your must-read books column. Don't forget to do so.